Hello everyone, this is Starry Ari's ASMR. I am Ari, and today you can see that I have some products laid out in front of me here because I wanted to do a little skincare show and tell of just the products that I typically use. I had seen a recent video from Charlie at Wired Dax ASMR. She did a video going over some skincare products that she uses, that she had tried recently, things that, were empty, and I commented on that video and she asked if I might make one. And I told her that it might be a very short video. But then when I was in my bathroom thinking about all of the products I use, just general face cleansing and moisturizing, I realized I actually do have quite a few products here. It looks a lot more than what it usually feels like, which is kind of interesting. So we are just going to kind of go through these products, and I'm just going to tell you a little bit about them, why I like them, or just my general thoughts and opinions. So let's go ahead and look at these individually, one at a time. So I think I'm going to show my products in the order that I might use them. And this here is Hyaluronic Acid Serum by Good Molecules. It says delivers deep hydration to plump the appearance of fine lines. So I have quite dehydrated, very dry skin. So most of my products are hydrating in one way or the other. And I am so inconsistent about skincare. And so some of these, like this one, I will kind of use it for a while and then just kind of forget about it and then stop using it, and then I think, oh yeah, I have this, I should maybe use it again. But I feel like when I do use it, it does make my skin maybe like hang on to moisture a little bit longer. So how I usually like to use this is to get my face a little bit damp, and then I put a couple of these drops on my face over just my damp skin, so it's not like super, dripping wet, but like there are, some water on my face. And then I rub in the serum, and I feel like that really kind of helps lock in the water. And then I put a moisturizer over top of that. And this says in the directions, it says apply a few drops morning and night, let fully absorb before applying other products, suitable for daily use. So this is a product that recently I've been using a lot more frequently, and I do feel like my skin just generally looks and stays more hydrated throughout the day. So that is quite nice, and I just need to be consistent about it and regularly use it. But it's also in this lovely kind of frosted glass bottle, and it has this plastic cap here, and it is a little squeeze like pipette. I feel like there's a different word for like this dropper. There we go. And it makes it kind of really convenient to get however many drops you want to use. So this is typically the first thing that I put on my skin in the morning when I wake up. And I haven't tried any other hyaluronic acid serums. I got this one from Good Molecules because it was like cheap, had pretty good reviews, and I don't actually remember how much this was, but I think it's cheaper than a lot of other serums that you could get. And it feels like a good, basic serum, but I can't speak to any other brands that have hyaluronic acid serum. This bottle has 1 fluid ounce. I feel like that glass sound is really satisfying. So after the hyaluronic acid serum, I usually do my moisturizer, and that is this one here by CeraVe. And this is their daily moisturizing lotion for normal to dry skin. And it says moisturizes and helps restore the protective skin barrier with 3 essential ceramides and hyaluronic acid. I think a lot of my products actually have hyaluronic acid. Maybe I don't need to be having this much. Is that bad for your skin? I have no idea. But this bottle is actually quite low. It feels like I only have about this much left. So I will need to get some more at some point. But this is just a really good basic moisturizer, and I don't even know if it's specifically like facial moisturizer. If you could use this as like body lotion, I don't know. I use it on my face. And let's see. I don't think I see anywhere here. It just says, avoid direct contact with eyes. And gentle on skin, allergy tested, non-comedogenic. So this one is a very good basic moisturizer, and it has CeraVe written into the side of the bottle here. But I like that this one doesn't ever seem to react weird with any of my makeup primers, and it doesn't feel like heavy at all on my skin, but it does seem like it works well, especially when I combine it with the hyaluronic acid serum. I do feel like this bottle also sounds really nice. And it has this convenient little pump top, and you can close it, so it has the little arrows. I think it's kind of hard there to see, but you can twist it, and then that closes it, and so you can't actually pump it. And then you can twist it and open it, and then now I'm not gonna press down because it's open. But that's kind of convenient. I don't ever travel with this because this is like quite a large bottle, but I mean, if you ever need to travel, or maybe if kids or something, you don't want them like messing around with your stuff on the bathroom counter, like it's convenient for that. Or cats, I guess even cats could get into trouble if they realized that they could press something and get product out. Then after my moisturizer, I don't always use feel like most days I do. This is the Holy Hydration Thirst Burst Drops by e.l.f. And it says dewy and brightening, 1% hydrating hibiscus complex plus 5% niacinamide. And this is the e.l.f. skin line, so they're skincare products. And I adore this little bottle. It's like a little glass bottle. And I think it's so cute, and it has this little white cap. And this product here really helps give my skin kind of a glowy look. So it says what it does. Reveal a juicy, radiant complexion both instantly and over time with these gel serum drops. Infused with 1% hydrating hibiscus complex, hyaluronic acid. There's another product with hyaluronic acid. And brightening 5% niacinamide. How to use. There are 3 ways to do it. Use 1 to 2 pumps as a serum, a makeup primer, or mix with your fave foundation. More drops equals more glow. I've used this kind of all of those ways. There are days where I don't want to do makeup, but I still put this on because I feel like it does make my skin just nice and glowy, but not like sparkly glowy. Like it just kind of gives it a nice, like healthy glow, and it doesn't make me look, oily or like sweaty. So I do really like this, and I've used it as just a primer under my makeup. And I've also mixed it with some of my more drying foundations, and I felt like this did help those. So there are quite a few different uses for this. And I also have a little travel size bottle for this one, and it's just kind of in like a little squeezy tube. But this one has a little pump, so it makes it pretty convenient to get the product out. I do love lid sounds and products. So this is usually my next step in my kind of daily routine. I really like adding in as many products as I can to help kind of moisturize my skin. And I think one of the best things that you can do for your skin is staying hydrated, drinking lots of water. And I am really bad at like just forgetting to drink anything. Like it's like my body just doesn't have a great like thirst signal. So I just like will forget that I need to drink anything, and then I suddenly will get like very thirsty when I'm on a walk with my dog. So I do try and keep like a water bottle at my desk while I'm working, just so that I like, in between meetings and stuff, it's just a good reminder. I just always have it there. But, I'm really terrible at remembering to drink water. So I feel like I need to get moisture into my skin any possible way that I can. And I am also still fairly young. I'm in my late 20s, so some people that's not very young, but I think 20s is still plenty young. And so I do feel like most problems with my skin that I, might have in the future haven't really come up yet. Like I do have the benefit of youth, but I do want to make sure that I'm still taking care of my skin, because this is the only skin that I have. And I'm also not too worried about like aging or the signs of aging. I mean, I don't really have many like wrinkles or fine lines yet, but my whole life, I have always thought that women with like smile lines or crow's feet were just so beautiful because I had a school teacher that was maybe late 40s, early 50s, and she had just let her hair go naturally gray, and it was this gorgeous, gorgeous, like silvery white. And she had the most lovely, friendly smile, and she had crow's feet. And I remember being in the first grade thinking that she was one of the most beautiful women that I had ever seen. And I think that really informed my perspective of like wrinkles or fine lines and aging in general. And I'm grateful for that because I'm not really, too worried. And maybe once I actually start getting more fine lines and wrinkles, I'll be more worried about it. But, I hope not, because I think that aging is such a beautiful gift, such a privilege. And I think that having smile lines and crow's feet like shows that you have been expressive during your life. And I think that that can be a really beautiful thing. But I still think it's also important to try and take care of your skin where you can. So this is usually the next step before I do my makeup. And then after the day, when I am winding down, I am taking off my makeup and doing kind of my nighttime or shower routine. I usually start by taking off my makeup with some micellar water. Micellar? I think it's micellar. And this one is by Neutrogena. I've used a few different brands. I just feel like I usually come back to the Neutrogena Hydro Boost because, surprise, surprise, it has hyaluronic acid. And I think I was just so drawn to a lot of these products that had hyaluronic acid without even really knowing it, like before I ever really knew why. And it's because I feel like they don't dry my skin out after I'm done using them. So this is the Hydro Boost Triple Micellar Water. It says hyaluronic acid to boost hydration. This removes waterproof makeup without rubbing, removes oil and dirt, and hydrates. And it's suitable for sensitive skin and eyes. And this bottle I actually found at Ross for $6.99. I think a bottle this size would maybe be like $10 at the store, so it's not like this is like incredibly like cost prohibitive. But I mean, I saw it at Ross and I was like, that's typically what I might use, so I'll just pick it up. And this I do like to use to remove my makeup, and I just use it with cotton rounds. It has this little flip cap, and then you can just flip this upside down and some of the liquid comes out of the top there. I think it's better than using just makeup wipes, which I always kind of go back and forth. I know makeup wipes aren't the best for your skin. They can be quite abrasive, but oftentimes, if I'm just in a rush and I just want to get my makeup off, I might just grab a makeup wipe. But a lot of the time I try and be better and just use this water, and I do feel like it maybe cleans my skin a bit better. Makes different sounds. If I tap down here where the liquid is versus up here where it is empty. This one says new. I think that this line has been out forever now, so I don't think that it is actually new. And I actually got this at Ross, quite a while ago, but I hadn't needed to open it because I had other ones that I was getting through. And so I hadn't needed to open it until recently, the last couple months. And then I've used about this much of it. So that is typically my first kind of cleansing step if I'm wearing makeup. And then I will usually, in the shower, use this Hydrating facial cleanser, also by CeraVe. I realized I didn't think that I had a preference for any particular skincare brand, and I think that I've just tried quite a few different moisturizers and cleansers, and I feel like I always just come back to CeraVe because it's such a good basic product, and I feel like it's really gentle. I don't have particularly sensitive skin, but it's like they're so good at just making these good classic basic products that if I want to feel a little bit extra fancy, then I can maybe go for spring for something a little bit more, but these ones are relatively affordable, and it's just easy for me to just keep up with. So this one says it's for normal to dry skin, cleanses, hydrates, and helps restore the protective skin barrier with 3 essential ceramides and hyaluronic acid. That's so funny. I had no idea how many of my products had hyaluronic acid in them already. And this bottle also has CeraVe written on the side, just like the moisturizer. It's basically the same bottle except green here on the label, and then it has a little green plastic bit up here for the pump top, and then this is the same pump top as the moisturizing lotion. So this one I usually just keep in my shower, and I just will cleanse my face. So this one is just a really good basic cleanser. I feel like it doesn't dry out my skin, because some cleansers do really dry out my skin, and I just don't want that. I just already have such dry skin. So this one, I feel like I've repurchased the CeraVe products quite a few times. Even if I'm trying other cleansers or other moisturizers, I feel like I always at least have some CeraVe products that I can just pull out and fall back on if I need to. And then after my cleanser, sometimes if I feel like my skin really needs a good exfoliation, I will use this gentle peeling exfoliant by e.l.f. And this is from their Holy Hydration line, and it says with papaya and tangerine extracts. And this one is, again, I feel like a good cleansing product that doesn't strip my skin too much. And it says for skin types, dry, oily, or a combination. So it kind of ranges across skin types. What it does, it says, this fruit extract infused exfoliant buffs away dirt and dead skin for soft, glowing, healthy looking complexion. And it recommends to use 2 to 3 times a week, and I probably use it maybe once a week. So maybe I could use it more, but I feel like most of the time the once a week feels fine enough for me, and my regular cleanser is like, okay. But I do love a good exfoliant, and I am from the days of when we all used the St. Ives, apricot scrub. That was horrific for your skin, but I felt like it felt so good. Where I wanted to feel like my skin was being stripped away. And now that I'm maybe older and wiser, and we all know better now, it is a little bit different doing an exfoliant that I don't feel like is scraping off my skin, because this one is much more of it's a peeling exfoliant, so it doesn't feel like you're scraping your skin at all, which is good. But it does feel like you're getting a nice, clean, fresh layer of skin once you wash this away. I love the blue color of all of the e.l.f. skin products. And this one is just in a squeezy tube, which makes it really convenient and easy to use it. This is one that I only ever really use in the shower because it does make a bit of a mess. That's one thing with skincare, like cleansers and stuff. I hate making a mess at the sink. So if I can just do it in the shower, I'm going to do that. After my skin is nice and clean from the day, I usually will do a nighttime moisturizer. And sometimes, most of the time, I used to just use my regular moisturizer, the same CeraVe, moisturizing lotion. But I recently picked up another CeraVe product, and this is their Skin Renewing Night Cream. And I picked this up because I've been looking for a good night cream, because for some reason I feel like my skin has been way more dry when I'm waking up in the morning. And I think it's because we've been running our air conditioner more, and for some reason I feel like our air is drier from that. I don't really know why that makes sense, but maybe that's just what happens. But either way, I've been waking up with my skin feeling quite dry, so I was wanting to get a dedicated night cream, and I'd seen this one recommended, I think, on a Reddit thread, and I have had so much good luck with CeraVe products that I thought I would just give this one a try. And I've only tried it for a couple of days, so I can't really say much on it yet. And with the other CeraVe products, I feel like this is a good basic night cream. I feel like it doesn't do anything way over the top, but it is very moisturizing, and I feel like I have been waking up with my skin looking a lot more fresh and usually less dry. But that could also just be a mixture. I feel like I've been really on top of it with my skincare routine, and then we'll see, in a month or two if I get lax on it again. And usually when that happens, I just use moisturizer. I don't do the extra serums or anything. But I always do moisturizer before my makeup, just because my skin is so dry that it desperately needs it. So this one I am, still trying out, but I do have good hopes for it, that it will at least be a really good staple night cream that I can use. I do like the tiny little jar. I feel like, I mean, it's not super tiny, but some skincare jars or like moisturizing jars are like huge. And I like how tiny and cute this is because it also gives me a chance to really try it for a while and see if I like it. And then, you know, if I don't, like it's just kind of a smaller jar. I mean, it does have a decent amount of product in it there. And it's, you know, not like this is gonna go super fast because you don't really need a ton of it. But either way, it gives me a good chance to try it for a while before, you know, really committing to like a huge tub of moisturizer. I'll make some more lid sounds. Alright, so those were all of my kind of actual skincare products, but I did want to include these face patches, and this is by, I think, Rael Beauty. I always want to call them Real, like my brain rearranges the E and the A, but I think it's Rael, or Rael, I don't know. But these are their miracle patches, and these are the hydrocolloid patches that you can put over like acne spots. And it has a couple of different sizes in here. And these are so great. I've actually got my husband hooked on these now. Because if I see that I have a spot forming on my face, at night after I do my routine, I will put one of these little patches over it. And I feel like it helps my skin heal so much faster. And my spots like don't stick around for nearly as long. And if I'm just hanging out at home and maybe I don't really need to do my makeup and I have a spot on my face that I want to make sure I'm not like touching or messing with or anything, I will put a patch on during the day too. And it just helps keep it clean, and it just does a really good job of, I think, healing spots faster. So it says what it does: it protects from dirt, draws out fluids, provides waterproof barrier. Yes, I do really like these ones. I've tried a few different brands, and honestly, I just keep coming back to this brand because I feel like they stick on my face better, and for some reason they seem like they just do a better job. And even on my husband's skin, like on his cheeks, I mean, he has, you know, a beard and he has facial hair that grows pretty quick, but these will still like stick on his skin, but it doesn't feel like I'm like ripping off a band-aid when I go to take them off in the morning. So I've really enjoyed these. I don't get, you know, too many spots now. I feel like even as a teenager I was fairly lucky that I didn't, you know, get like really bad acne, but I did get, you know, quite a lot more like spots on my face than I do now as an adult. But I do feel like these are really good, and I notice, you know, if I don't put one on, I feel like it takes so much longer for those spots to heal, and then I'm like, you know what, yeah, I should stop being lazy and I should just put a little spot cover on it. I wonder if this has ingredients. It does. Yeah, it is the hydrocolloid. And here they have the two different sizes. So this one is the 10 millimeter and then this is the 12. So I do feel like it gives you a good You know, like these are good for kind of maybe on your nose or for smaller spots, and then these ones, these bigger ones, do, you know, cover a bit more surface area, so maybe good for your cheeks or your forehead. So it is nice to have the two different sizes. Those were all of the skincare products that I wanted to show you today. I feel like I don't really have anything like too fancy. I think all of this is drugstore stuff. But I'm usually a fan of, like, if it works, I don't really want to mess with it too much. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. And I hope that you have a wonderful